Good morning and Happy New Year. It's, I guess we're a week into the new year or so right now, and I'm hoping that everybody's having a good one. I'm hoping that it's going to turn out for everybody to be a much better year than what we had last year. Not that last year was that bad of a year, but I'm just saying that, with the COVID and everything else, and that everybody can just do what they want to do, work on their guns, and to me, that's my relaxation. And be able to get along with each other. But anyway, over the holidays, I really didn't do much as far as guns go. I spent a lot of time with my wife. I we we just chilled out. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It's just my wife and I. My son is in Phoenix, so it was just the two of us for the holidays. So it made things pretty mellow. I haven't been working on any projects really. Um, well, since I think you all know that I have Parkinson's disease, and because of the Parkinson's now, I'm really only working 2 days a week or 2 evenings a week, and that really is cut into the gun money too. So, but that's all right. What I'll do is we'll find some cheaper projects to do, and it'll just take us a little bit longer to do them, and that's fine. Just everything happens and it happens, and that's just the way it is. So, but anyway, enough. So what I've got is I've been working on that stock for the Colombian short rifle, the 1912 short rifle, and it has been very difficult to work on. There's been so many things that have been wrong with it. Um, I filled in all the cracks with super glue, with the vise and super glue. Got those all taken care of. I don't know if before we did it, I replaced the recoil lug, the one that was all rusted and in misshapen and so forth. But anyway, so that's been replaced. Uh, the butt stock, the butt plate, it was a problem, and I tried several different things with it. And one of the things I did was just the flat butt plate that is supposed to go on the Mauser, this type of Mauser. And so what I do is I tried just putting it on there to see what it would look like, and it looked awful. There was gaps you could see all the way through, and it didn't look the way I wanted it to look. So the next thing I did was I tried using some wood filler to smooth it out. There's still a little those filling up holes, but I had some wood filler on it to try to smooth it out. And that became one of the things of, well, put a little bit more here, a little bit more there, a little bit more here. And before long, there was just way too much wood filler, and it looked like crap. So I said, well, I'm going to take that off. So what I did finally was I took my Dremel, and what I did was I smoothed it. Just I didn't take anything off or change the angle of the stock or the plate or anything like that. And I just took the Dremel and I smoothed it down and tried to make it so that it'll fit. It still sticks up a little bit. Let me see if I can get it on in the way it's supposed to go. It still sticks up a little bit, and I might actually go through and fix that, because what I did was I stuck this thing in my vise and pulled and bent it, and to bend it to try to make it so that it'll conform the top of this thing here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to bend that down a little bit more. And the whole idea is, I mean, it's a 110-year-old gun, and the butt plate's not going to fit on there like the day it was made. But I'm going to try to get it to work as smooth as possible. Now, the butt plate wasn't wide enough for the butt plate was too wide for the stock. So what I had to do was I took and I put the butt plate on top right where I wanted it to go and screwed it on, and I took some marker and I ran a marker around the edge so that I had an idea of how much overhang there was. I then took it and put it on my grinder, and I ground it down so that it was the the right size for the gun I have. And I took a file and I filed it smooth so it's nice and smooth. And I guess it's just going to work the best it's going to work, and that's the only way it's going to happen. It said the goes on. Ouch. And there's a little gap up here in the front, and then there's this where this hole is right there, but there's a little gap up in the front. And when I put the screw in here, it actually pulls it down a little bit tighter, so it's not real bad. Being the perfectionist that I am, it has been driving me crazy. But as my friend told me that you have to realize that it's an older gun, and it's just gonna do what it wants to do. Now the finish, on the other hand, I took the first thing I did after I got it all looking pretty good, I thought, was I took out the linseed oil, and I was going to linseed oil it. And when I put the linseed oil, of course it's better now because I worked on it even some more, but there are these oil spots. And when you put the linseed oil on it, man, it made them jump out like they were slapping you in the face. And they looked really bad. And I said, well, I can't do that. So I had to take the linseed oil off, the coated linseed oil. And the way I did that was I used some turpentine, and I wiped it down with turpentine real good. And I took some fine steel wool, and I just the whole thing and wiped it down, and it took the linseed oil off for the most part. Then what I did was I took some alcohol, and I wiped it down with some denatured alcohol, and it looked pretty good. So then what I decided after doing that, I said, I worked some more on the oil things because it made them come out really bright. I said, well, I'm going to have to use a darker color, and the darker color will help cover up the imperfections. So I got some dark walnut stain, and I put that on there, and it was almost black. And I don't want a gun that looks like that. Yeah, it covered up the oil stains pretty much, and you couldn't really see them, but it was really black. Even my wife, when I showed it to her, she said, that's really dark. You've never had a gun that was that dark before. And so I said, well, so I threw it back in the stripper again and let it sit. Took the stain off. Excuse me. So then what I did was I chose a different color, and this is red mahogany. And I like red mahogany. I've used it before. I've used it that I know of. I've used it on the full size Carcano rifle and others, and it really that's nice. I like a little red in the gun anyway, and this is going to work out nice. You can still see the oil in there, but it's not so bad. So what I'm going to do is wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to put some. I'm going to put a couple of coats, 2 or 3 coats of linseed oil on it for protection, and that should do it. And then we should be good to go on that. Then what I'm going to do is put it together. I've already blued all the metal parts because, as I said, I had the gun put together once already. So once it's the linseed oil is dry, then I'll be able to put the gun together. Now, on bluing, there's been a lot of questions about bluing. People wanting to know, how do you do the bluing? And I've done a video or 2 on it already, and whatever. Well, I wrote up a sheet. It's a step-by-step instructions for bluing. And if you're a subscriber, go to the About section on my page, and you'll then go down, and there's an email page, an email address. Write me at that email address, and I will send you a copy of the bluing instructions the way I do it. Some people do it different, but that's the way I do it, and I think it works really well and gets things really black. And to me, I like the things that are really black, especially the older guns. I think that's kind of the way that they were meant to be. So down there, the the email address is mudroomguns@gmail.com. But anyway, go to the About section down the bottom. It'll have my email address down there. Write me in. You can write me anytime. Anybody can write me anytime that they want to send me a private message. That's up to them. Keep no spam. No, I don't want any advertisements. I'm not interested in insurance or cruises or any of that other stuff. I'm just interested in guns, and you know, if you have a comment that you don't want to put on the page, or you want to write me about something that you don't want to put on the page, that's fine. Send it to me, and I will. I'll get back with you on it. Okay. I try to answer all my my comments when I can. I mean, when I can get them. And anyway, so that's where we're sitting right now with the stuff. And the handguard, of course, is the exact same as this. It matches. The handguard. Now, this handguard was different than others. I couldn't find a handguard for this gun. So what I did was I found a handguard that would fit, but it was too long. Let me get you another one here. Here's another one here. I didn't use this one because it's too narrow, and that's how I found it. But you can see it's a handguard, and it's a little too long. Because when you put it on, and it ends up looking like this here. And you can see where this doesn't line up with this here. So what I had to do is I had to measure the distance that I wanted, which was from, let me put my barrel inside. See, I'm always prepared. So anyway, so it goes on. You can see, now you can see where the need extra arms. You can see where there's a difference in the. So what I did was I figured out past the band how much I wanted this to extend. Past that band, it would go right here. As it turns out, it would be right about where this line is. So I took my saw and I cut the this part off right here. Now this is too thick to go underneath the band. So what I had to do was I had to take the Dremel and cut it, and just took a piece of tape, so I'd have a definite piece of tape, so I could put a definite line down there, and then I used the Dremel, went back and forth until it was thin enough that it would fit underneath the band. And so I ended up with this. This one here, which fits. You can see where I cut the thinned out the top of that handguard so it would fit underneath the band. So that's what I did for a band. I mean, for a handguard for this thing. I've done it before, and it works real well. The secret is trying to find one that's wide enough so that you don't end up with a lot of space. You know, or it should fit down on top of this and be smooth across instead of having a step there. Well, anyway, it's almost 15 minutes. Again, I've talked too much, and like I said, it's my new email address is gunroomguns@gmail.com. And thanks for watching.